It's tough to say. There's definitely a disappointment factor, and I think that really hits you later on as the guys get into later rounds and you're still haven't played and starting to miss the game. So it gets you later when guys are still playing later in the year. Right now it's kind of a reflection period where you take a breath and kind of look back at what happened and various stuff that happened throughout the season. And there are periods towards the end where you're really grinding to make that playoff spot, and we were out of it for a little while, and I thought everyone played hard to the finish. So there's a little bit of a take a breath and then exhale, but like I said, it's more of a reflection period to see what happened throughout the year.
It's only been 48 hours since this season ended on Saturday. Just for you personally, what are some of those reflections that may have popped up in your mind over the last 2 days?
Every year is a learning experience, and I think there was definitely a few of those this year. I know we had a lot of shuffling of bodies, especially on the forward side of things and on the back end. I was looking at the roster for a couple of our games we played. It was in Charlotte, and I was kind of chuckling to myself because there was one guy playing on the defensive side who started the year here, and there was a whole bunch of new names up front, so it was a learning experience in that matter. I think I saw more roster moves here than I've typically seen, but maybe learning how to manage that and then get guys unified and gelled together quicker. But it was a good group of guys, and it was a good year as far as meeting teammates and meeting new guys, but obviously disappointing on the standings.
And you mentioned new teammates, new guys. For you personally, a new organization, you have a brand new baby that comes along in the middle of the season. So just for you personally, how would you characterize this season when you look at all the changes you went through?
Not even the season, this whole year. It was quite of an experience. It was a lot of emotion on the ice, and then tons of emotion off the ice. It was something new for myself and my wife, and it was very interesting. But it's been an amazing thing, and we couldn't be happier. But like I said, there's been a lot of emotion this year, and I think she's going to be happy, and I'm really happy to have a couple weeks here before I start really getting into training, where I can just be home full time, and that's something I'm looking forward to.
And you mentioned the off-season training. What is the game plan for you as you guys adjust to the off-season life? You certainly spend some time with your new baby, but in terms of training and getting the body ready, what kind of timetable do you work on?
It always depends on how your body's feeling injury-wise. I usually take a lot of pride in my summer, and I have a good group of people who I train with back home, and it's a matter of I finished the season with a bit of an injury, so that'll change things a little bit. I won't have the time off that I usually take. I'm still going to be coming in every day, just rehabbing. So I don't like to take a whole lot of time off. I like to get right back into it once the body starts to feel healthy again. But let the mind rest, but make sure the body doesn't get too creaky.
As one of the veteran leaders on this team, and you will be back next season, what are some of the things these younger guys can take into the offseason after a tough season like this with a lot of ups and downs?
I think something that we could reiterate to them and talk to them about, and obviously they've learned, is one, for myself especially, this is a really big summer for a lot of these guys, really big. You're going to have a new coach looking at you up in Dallas, and for those younger guys, and guys like myself too, it's big to come in and have a good camp and make a good impression. But for the younger guys on the team, you can see how quickly guys can start to get hurt up top in Dallas, and for a long season you really can't take any breaks, and you have to be ready at all times because you never know when your name's going to get called. I don't know the number, but I think there's probably like 6 or 7 guys we had up front called up at the same time. So things can happen quickly, and you got to make sure you're ready, because if you do get that call up in those games, the opportunity doesn't always come around a second time. So I think for most of these guys, it's day in, day out, every practice, every game, having that effort, and that's something we got to bring from day one next year.